Okay, so this is a demonstration on how to use the ink, and I'm going to use a bamboo carrier. You can also use a brush with this technique, and you can add water to make it a wash. What I've done is just sketched out a figure, nothing fancy. I'm going to go in and just use my kneaded eraser to lighten up my pencil lines. I'm going to just go over it so I can just faintly see my pencil outline here. And the point of the ink and the ink wash, you can buy different inks. There's a Dr. Martin's ink set that is really nice, and they blend really well with water. They have good pigment. They're really expensive though. But for this, I just want you to see how you can do a great quality line drawing just using the ink. So even though I'm not requiring this for any of the projects, I do think it's important because it is a fashion medium. So I'm actually going to go in with my smaller bamboo carrier first, kind of dip it in the ink. It does have a fine point on the other side too. And we always talk about a light source in fashion. For some reason, my light source is always coming in from my left. And I'm going to use that as pretty much the white of the page. So I'm going to just test my ink out here to kind of see what I'm getting. You can see the fine point here. And it's sort of like calligraphy. We're just drawing with it. So I'm just going to go in, do a little bit of pressure, and suggest my figure here. The trick is you really don't want to pick up the bamboo carrier until you've suggested your full line. There's a little bit too much ink there, but you can really see. So where I'm going to have kind of like a shadow, I can go in and adjust my line quality here. So I want a really fine line there. I want it kind of heavy on this side because this would be on the shadow portion of my figure. And I'm going to just draw with a really light hand. And then I go in and put in my details for my garment. I can go back over this a little bit. And so kind of suggest a shape for the hair. Okay, and then I can choose sort of what I want to go in and fill in. I really like the ink just because you can just kind of draw really lightly. Okay, so I'm switching to my new bottle of ink because that one was old. There we go, that's better. And I'm not going to really worry about deviating from my pencil lines because I can kind of go in and fix those later. Okay, so now I want to kind of go in and go in with different thicknesses of my bamboo carrier to just create some dimension, give some value. So suggest my lights and darks. I can kind of move this around on the page. I'm getting a little crazy with the hair. Okay. And let's see. Maybe I want to go in and do some kind of surface treatment. I can suggest beadwork, sequin, something like that. So even though it takes a little bit more discipline than using the pencil or even charcoal, you can get a good effect. With the ink. I'm going to just go in with my larger one so you can see what that looks like. So for this one, I can kind of go in and start shading a little bit. So maybe I want this area to be really dark. Yeah, that's a lot of ink. Maybe this is color blocked. I don't know. We're just going with it. So yeah, we'll make this panel and shade this one. So I'm gonna just kind of blend here. I kind of like this bleeding effect, so we'll go with that. And maybe we'll make it look sort of ombre so we can lead into that. I'll do the same thing with this panel. And I'm working right now on my drawing paper. I really like using the ink on Bristol. And again, I don't have to color everything in. I think I'm gonna try to blend a little bit here. This technique of using dots to blend is called pointillism. So maybe I'll use this sort of ombre all the way down. So this part should probably be shaded too. And I'm gonna just add some here. And I just kind of want this to look believable here. And I think for this, I'm going to just go in and give the appearance of a treatment on the dress, maybe. And then this could go on all day. You can also use this on your watercolor paper. You can go in with a brush and add ink or add water to this to make this a wash, which will give it sort of like a gouache or a watercolor effect. I'm not going to do that on this one. And really with all of the media that we use this semester, I just want you to kind of use it loosely, have fun with it, see what you can do with it. It's not really about drawing things picture perfect or having them look, photorealistic. It's about expression and rendering garments using different techniques based on, the textile, the mood of the picture. And this is just another way of getting your ideas down, expressing yourself. So she's doing 101 Dalmatians look for evening wear. Composition book chic. The only thing about the ink is it's not too forgiving. It's a little bit hard to go back over it and rework it. So kind of once you put something on here, you got to commit to it. Oh, okay. I was going to go in and give her an earring. I gave her a big one. You can I can probably get a Q-tip or paper towel and just kind of soak that up a little bit. But yeah, I was going to give her some little earrings here. Probably should be using the smaller one now. Let me go in with that one. So I'm going to see if I can just kind of soak some of this up. She'll just have on non-matching earrings, I guess. Soak some of this up on my page too. Again, I'm using drawing paper. when you go in with a wet medium, usually, I wouldn't do this on this paper, but on the watercolor, I would just go and take a brush and wet the entire page first. So then my wet medium is not the first time I'm introducing the water to the page. And I'm going to just use my Q-tip to kind of help to blend a little bit. Okay, so she's got those mix and match earrings. So if I want to go in and I'm using my number 5 round brush, and I'm going to just touch the tip of my brush on my paper towel. So it's not too much water. I can go in and start to wash with my ink a little bit. It's not going to really work on what's dry because that's already on the page, but I can move that other ink across the page that's still wet there. And blend. There is a bamboo brush that you can use that has a really fine tip with this. And what I want to do is just kind of go pick up a little bit of the ink and show just a shadow on this side of the body. So I'm going to wet it and then go in with a really light layer of the ink. So this is all the spots where I'd have a little bit of a shadow here. Still too much water. And I can start to just indicate my light source. So where there'd be a little bit of a shadow, so like where the jewelry is, under the neck, on the other side of that arm, and kind of blend it in. So even though I don't have a skin color and I have an achromatic drawing, I can still suggest my light source. Too much. And go over it. Just kind of blend in. And I can also go in and blend even where I have this effect on the dress. I can go in and make this look a little darker here and everywhere on this side of the garment. So then I can just give it some value so you can actually see the shadow. And this is pretty much the effect that you'll get with the watercolor. Oop, a little too much water. It's still wet. But I mean, I'm not looking for anything perfect. Really just want you to experiment with some of these techniques. If I can pick some of this up and put it here. And then just see what your preferences are, what you like working with. So you can just up the level, you know, of your illustration, become more familiar with different media. Work this little smudge here, so we're just going to make it a little bit wider. There we go. Okay. I think this is pretty good. Aside from the mix match earrings, I can at least make it look like it was on purpose. Shade it a little bit. Okay, and there's my drawing. I think I'm gonna just stop there. Big part of illustrating is knowing when to stop. I think the only thing I would do here is maybe just put a touch of a shadow on this arm here, forearm, on the inside of the arm. Okay,